Coach, I doubt that you were very surprised about Dalton being the SEC Player of the Year, but just what can you say about his journey to?
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I'm super excited for him, super proud of him. His journey is one that you kind of read about, like fairy tale type deals, and just to see him get to this point, to achieve what he's achieved, and it's amazing. But it goes to his hard work, his work ethic, his mindset, his confidence and belief in himself, and I know he had a lot of people along the way helping him, friends, family, relatives, all of that. But it's special. It's really special to do what he's been able to do in this season here at Tennessee, and I hope everybody appreciates it as much as I know we do. But I mean, he was magnificent this year.
When was the moment that you realized that you all had something special in your hands?
You know what? I think you kind of saw it this summer. The shot making ability, the ability to score at the rim. But I think, after the first time Coach really jumped on him about his defense, told him if you don't guard, you're not going to play. And, the next practice he probably scored about 40 points in practice. You know what I mean? And it was like he didn't flinch, and he never his confidence never got shaken. And I remember him telling me, like, that's why I came here. I came here to become a better defender. And that's why I'm here. So, yeah, I want Coach getting on me. And that's when I knew it was like he's different. He's different.
What's it like being on the bench as a coach when Dalton goes on one of those scoring spurts or 13 points in a few minutes and such?
Yeah, I mean, everyone, you think you kind of would get used to it, but every time you go on those stretches, it's just like, wow. It's just, big shot after big shot, tough shot after tough shot, and in the different ways that he kind of gets it. You sit back in amazement, and it's only if a handful of guys in the country that can fill it up the way that he does when he goes on those runs.
You mentioned that Barnes was tough on Dalton when he first got here, but DK also asked Coach to be tough on him. How does that describe DK as a player, that he's so addicted to the game that he wants Barnes to be even tougher on him?
Yeah, and it shows that, he sees the big picture, in that he's not a guy that wants to be patted on the back and, told how great he is. He wants the real. He wants it real, and he wants to, he wants to get better. And so he knows that what Coach Barnes, his resume, he knows the guys he's worked with, and that have helped get to where he's trying to get to and do the things he's trying to do. And so, yeah, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes for Dalton that he welcomes that coaching, that realness, and the tough love.
Coach, what's it say about Zakai's heart and desire that he's the defensive player of the year in a league like this at his size?
Yeah, for him as well, and he's had a great year defensively and offensively, and just coming back from what he came back from. But it speaks volume about his toughness, and his tenacity, and he's a pesky defender, man. He's great, and he energizes this team. And we've been a top 5 defense the last 3 years, and he's had a lot to do with it. His initial point of defense really sets the tone for our guys in this program.
Following up on that question, just Zakai went from a torn ACL a year ago to winning the SEC Defensive Player of the Year today. Just with all the college basketball that you've been around, how tough is that really to be able to make that comeback and to the effect that he's done it?
Oh, it's really tough because that injury, and although the technology is getting gets better and better every year, it's still a tough injury to come back from. You got the timing, the feel of the game, all of that stuff, and he attacked that training this summer, and he had some rough days. I'm not going to sit here and say every day was great, but he had some days where he might have doubted himself and doubted it, but he just kept going. And our strength and conditioning staff between Coach Garrett and Chad, those guys were phenomenal with him during that process. And and while he was out, he did a lot of work on his shooting too, form shooting and all that. He didn't just sit back and feel sorry for himself. He just attacked it like he attacks everything else. And again, the start was slow. The beginning of the season was a little slow, and he caught rhythm and just kind of took off from there. So for Z, man, I'm so proud of him, of how he responded to that adversity, and multiple encounters with adversity. He just continued to bounce back and fight, and he's in a great space right now.
For a program that prides itself on defense, how rewarding is it to have 2 of the 5 guys on the all-defense team?
It's very rewarding. It speaks to, Coach Barnes' emphasis on that side of the ball and ability to push guys, put guys in position to be really effective there, and then for the guys to embrace it. It doesn't happen without those guys in embracing the defensive side, and that's what they've done. That's what they've done, and done it at a high level.
Dalton credited Rod for convincing him to kind of come here.
Mm-hmm.
Did Rod ever say that, hey, this is the difference maker? And at what moment did Rod say, we got him?
Yeah, with Dalton, I don't think it was ever a point where we knew he was good. Like, you watch the video, you see the highlight clips, and he's talented, he's skilled, he's got a lot, but never did you think this, and, so I wouldn't say we all sat back, or even Rod sat, and you have to ask Rod whether he thought that, but we never in meetings said, hey, this guy's going to come in here and average 20 points, he's going to boom, boom, boom. We thought he was going to be a great piece. He could shoot the ball. I didn't know he was as good as he was in transition, and that was an area where I thought we could grow in from last year's team to this year's team. And but you saw the athleticism, you saw the shot making, you saw the slashing to get to the basket a little in the highlight films, but you never knew it would translate into what level it would translate. And so I don't think any of us thought, hey, you would come in and do what he did. We thought he'd be a good player. Didn't really know what that looked like. We all knew there were limitations on defense, but you didn't know, hey, would his offense outweigh the defense? And because coach he's real about it. Like, if you don't guard, you can't play. You're not going to play. And so that was always kind of the question in the back of our heads of, man, will he be able to guard enough to get on the floor? To gain coach's trust. And so, but as far as knowing, nobody really knows.
Coach, what is Jonas's personal growth meant to the growth of this team from November to now? Just how much more confident is he?
Yeah, it's been fun watching his growth over the years. Seeing him as a freshman, sophomore, gaining weight, getting healthier, staying healthy, being mature about taking care of his body to where he is now, where he's, super reliable, consistent. We know we're going to get to him, and one of the best, big man defenders in the country. And it's for him, it's been a journey, because his high school path was a little different as well, where not highly recruited, went to prep school, kind of took off from there, and then, changing commitments afterwards. So it was a lot that happened with him, and he stuck with it. He was behind some really good bigs here when he got here early. Never quit, never gave up, never had doubt. And so to see him where he is now, it shows his love for the game, his passion for the game, but also just his wanting to get better and continue to grow. And with that, his confidence has grown. He's gained confidence in coach, and coach has more confidence in him. And he's been able to take off a little bit.
How do you make sure the team stays on edge going into the most important time of the year after the last week or so of accomplishments?
Yeah, it's important that that we do stay on edge, but Coach Barnes does a great job of keeping those guys revved up and geared up. But we have an older group. We have some older guys, a lot of older guys that understand what March is all about, and that if you lose once, your season is over. You're done. And so as guys has been through it, they know what it feels like, and they're motivated. They're motivated. Winning the SEC regular season was one of our goals. We checked it off. Another goal was to win the SEC tournament, right? And so our team, they're really goal-driven and goal-oriented, and I think they're just going to continue to chase those goals. And so that's why, again, the complacency, doesn't bother me as well because I feel like we have a good infrastructure to keep these guys motivated, keep them going.
Maturity, the reason they've bounced back from losses the way they have the last few months?
I think so. I think so. They haven't let the losses, like one loss lead to two, lead to three. Like they do a great job of bouncing back. We've done a great job of learning from our mistakes and becoming better from it. And so I think the maturity, but also the focus, the laser focus. And, this year when we had losses, the bounce back, we always said our goal is still there. Like our chance to win the league is still there. And so we got to keep going. We can't let this one affect the next one. We got to grow from it and learn from it. And that's kind of been the mindset.
Do these recent accolades add any pressure to your postseason runs, or is that kind of like an outside perspective?
We'll see. I don't, has Dalton been told that
Yes.
all that? Okay, so they just, yeah, right. So we'll see. Again, I don't think so. I hope not. But they are young men, and those are big time accomplishments. But knowing our guys, I know how team oriented they are. Our culture is just not about me, and they embrace it. And Dalton all year, as with interviews and whether it's 40-point games, 39-point games, whatever, he's always talked about his teammates and his teammates helping him and putting him in position to be great. So I don't anticipate any any fallback from that. If anything, I think, and again, both of those guys are the most humble players that I've of that level that I've been around. So I think they'll probably deflect as much of the attention as they possibly can and be ready to move on to this SEC tournament and the NCAA tournament.
Going back to Jonas, what's that like for you? Obviously, he kind of followed you. He wouldn't be here without you. Just to trust it, he and his family put in you, and now the growth that he's had.
Yeah, no, it's been it's been a proud moment. For me in that aspect, because we have been on this journey, a long time, and you think about how rough the freshman year was, and at points the sophomore year had some bumps in the road, and for our staff, just telling him, hey, keep believing in us, keep going, trust us on this, and for him to have that trust and to believe in us, I mean, it makes us very proud that he stayed the course and fought through adversity and to get to where he's gotten to it, because it hasn't always been easy. It's been rough, it's been tough, and I'm sure at points he had doubt, about everything, and he stuck with it. And he loves Tennessee, and so I'm happy for him. I'm ecstatic for him and his mom.
Last question. Jonas has a laid-back attitude. What makes him kind of flip the switch when he's on the court and show a little more emotion? Because he doesn't show emotion at all at practice.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. He's kind of one of those sneaky competitive guys. When he gets out there, and again, you don't see it because he doesn't show a lot of emotion. And we're trying to get him to do that. I'll try to hit him with some motivational talk right before he walks out the jump ball. To kind of get him going a little bit. He'll give me the head nod, got you, coach. But, he does have some fire in him, and you'll see it with the block, maybe a dunk, he gets a little scream out and all that good stuff. But, he's just kind of one of those even-keeled, straight-faced guys. But I never question his, his readiness, his intensity. He's ready to bring it.
Thank you.